So today joining you or facilitating for you will be myself, Miss Q. She wants to introduce herself real quick.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you. More
Miss
than you know.
Miss Robin.
Howdy.
And John.
Hi.
And if you already haven't logged into the bit.ly, it's on the web screen, and I'll be posting it again on the chat. Oh, next slide. So for today, our norms, if you've had any trainings with us lately, any webinars with us, they're pretty much the same norms. Please mute your mic unless you're speaking. You can do that by just pressing the space bar, or you can do that just by unmuting yourself on the participant or on the bottom, pressing unmute if you want to say something. But if you want to ask a question and don't want to speak up to the crowd, just put it in the chat room. Any of us will facilitate and respond to you as quickly as we can. But when you do speak up, if you wouldn't mind saying your name, sometimes when you speak, we can't see you, so we don't know who's speaking. So then if you ask for something, we don't know who to send it to because we don't know who said it. And then take risks today and engage. We're here from about 3 to 5. So yeah, just let us know what we need from us as the day goes by, and please interact with us on the chat box and we could help you. So with that said, this is our agenda and what it looks like today. We're going to start with an NGSS lesson, distance learning style with Zoom. We're going to take a little break with a dance challenge. Then we'll go into a number talk with Flipgrid. And then we'll take another break where we ask you to show us your pants if you want to. And then we'll tell you why. And then kind of end the day with the lesson design with Padlet and a question and answer feedback form time. We're laughing because at show us your pants, you'll see why it was a news. I don't know if you guys saw the newscaster. Anyways, we'll get to that. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to John.
So Anna mentioned something about taking risks. So I really kind of think this is a little bit of a risk out there for me anyways. So we're going to go through an NGSS lesson experience, but we're going to use the platform Zoom, which we're all on right now. We're going to take you through that. Got about 45 minutes to do that. And then at the end, we'll kind of debrief a little bit about how you might want to do this in your classroom if you can, blah, blah, blah. So right now, just hang on for the ride. And it's good. The pedagogy is similar to what we introduced before. It's just now we're going to use technology as our platform, okay? Because I'm sure all of you are meeting with kids every single day or every other day, however that works. We really feel that this could be a cool way to introduce science with them virtually. So with that, I'll get this person in. If you remember, we had group roles. So you're going to be, in a little bit, you guys are going to be put into breakout rooms randomly. And we just want to make sure that you remember the group roles. You have someone who is a scribe or artist, right? Writes the ideas for the group. Spokesperson is the person that shares out the group ideas. And then we have a timekeeper, which, I'll be the timekeeper because I have the clock and everything. And then there's also a task manager. This person keeps everyone in focus. So we will be using these group roles again when you get into your groups. We have 8 breakout rooms. So right now we have about anywhere between 3 to 4 persons for each breakout room. You guys ready? Okay, so another tech piece that we're going to use are this thing called Google Drawings. Okay, and so instead of, like, if you remember the interactive science notebooks that we use, I don't know if you can see me holding it up. You can also use this way, but we also felt there's a really cool way where you can use this right here, Google Drawings. Okay, every room is going to get a link to an interactive notebook. You can see this one is room 1. So if you're in room 1, you'll get this one. And it's very similar to, it's actually real similar to Google Slides, because you have all these features right here where you can add text, you can bring in images, you can add arrows, because we're going to ask you to make sense of a phenomena, but we want you to use this platform. So we're going to give you enough time so you can kind of play around with this first as well. So we're going to use Google Drawings. So here we go. We're going to start. So if you remember this, the See, Think, and Wonder routines, I am going to show you a phenomena. It's about a minute long. It's a homemade phenomena. I think it's really cool. You're going to recognize somebody in it. And as you see the video, I want you to, in this case, if you have a sheet of paper or you have a notebook, write down what you see. Write down what you think about that. And write down any questions that this phenomena makes you wonder about, or leads you to any other further questions or wondering. Okay? So here we go. So I don't know if you recognize this guy. So I had an opportunity to make some videos. I cropped this one because I ramble on, but I cropped this one to just show you the phenomena. So remember, see, think, and wonder. Here we go. Light the candle. So as you can see, I've already poured the water on the plate and it's surrounding the candle. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, oh, by the way, make sure you're in a safe environment. When you light your candle, make sure you have maybe supervision if you're a little younger. So I've got the candle lit. So you can see the lit candle. And I'm going to take my glass and I'm going to turn it upside down. And I want you to see what is going on. There's two things happening. Right? Did you see the candle go out? And did you see what happened to the water? Okay. So what's really interesting about this phenomenon too is as I try to take the glass off right now, I'm feeling a lot of resistance there. There's a lot of pressure. And you can hear what happened there. So see, think, and wonder. Here's the video. By the way, I also link the video to when you guys go to your breakout rooms, if you need to play it again real quickly. So I'm just going to throw it out there. If anyone wants to share out, I only have about a minute or two. If anyone wants to share out, what did you see? What did you think? What do you wonder? Make sure you unmute yourself and share out with the group.
Or you can type in the chat.
Awesome. If you want to, yeah, if you don't want to hear your voice, you can type in the chat. So see, think, and wonder. The candle went out, the water did something.
So water rising in the cup and flame going out, we say. We think, why does the water rise? Why does the flame go out?
Awesome. Thank you, Karen.
Mary said, this is how I turn off my candles, but what happens to the smoke?
Well, I knew that the candle was going to go out, but I didn't think that there was going to be any change in the water level.
Thank you for sharing, Jasmine. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
go ahead.
I think we're probably going to say the same thing, Anna. In case you didn't know, if you hold your space bar down, you can unmute for just a second. And then once you take your hand off of your space bar, it'll go back to mute.
So I see Annette's question, is it only water with dye in the plate? And the answer is yes. It's only water with dye.
Manuel said, as the flame is going out, the water is rising. That's what he noticed. Somebody asked, did the candle expand? Lisa asked, if there was more water on the plate, would water keep rising? Karen asked, how does this happen?
Madeline, and if it's a scented candle, what flavor is it? I love that.
Somebody wondered if the flame went out because it ran out of oxygen.
Interesting. Okay, thank you guys for interacting. We'll kind of move on. I know you may have more questions. You can still put them in the chat there. So right now, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes. And again, you can do it in your interactive notebook. If you want to open up a quick Google Doc and do it there. But I want you to answer 2 questions for me, or actually 1 question. Why do you think this phenomena occurs? Right? And I'm going to be real strict with the time because we don't have a lot of time. So your 3 minutes begins right now. And if you want to add more to the chat, you can. Okay, but right now, here goes, 3 minutes. Why do you think this phenomenon occurs?
And don't Google.
Yeah, this is a Google-free zone.
Try your best without Google.
Imagine, saying that to the students because you can't see what on the other end, can you?
Could use Go Guardian and protect them under that.
Oh, okay, Annie, you'll have to teach me about that.
Somebody asked, Mr. Patel asked if we are supposed to write our answers here on the chat room.
No, this is something you can put on your own sheet of paper, your own Google Doc, right? Because what's going to happen after you go through this, you're going to be in a breakout room and you're all going to get a chance to share. Okay.
Inside the glass. So there's less particles. So now there's a little bit less pressure. And as you said, it cools. So as the
I would feel like it creates a vacuum.
as it cools, the pressure also decreases. So now the pressure inside the glass is less than the pressure outside. So the outside air pressure pushes on the water and pushes it up into the glass.
So we know that there's some kind of interaction with heat, oxygen, and water. We're not exactly sure how they all interact, but the heat's doing something to the oxygen, and either the water pulling up is taking up the space of the oxygen, and the lack of oxygen is making the candle go out, but I don't know. I can only know when I read your information on it next.
All I can say is you guys are on the right track.
The container, yes. So the arrow it starts with the heat, that the heat inside is somehow impacting the oxygen. So boy, this is really hard to do on a Google Doc.
So that's great feedback for us too, Annette. Because I guess you have to, along with this, has to be some kind of Google Drawing 101, right?
Yeah.
Or in lieu of that with your students, you could always just have them do something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold up.
John's phenomenal science. Oh yeah, they could draw it on paper and show it on the screen.
Yeah, on the screen.
Ah.
What we're going to do after this is you guys are going to actually leave feedback. Remember how I did it with stickies before?
Yeah.
Now we're going to do it with the comment section on the Google Drawings.
Ah.
So it's like stickies, but it's just all in the same kind of prompts. Well, you'll see when we get through it. So cool. So everything cool? I'm going to go back to room 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Question for you guys real quick. How was the Google Drawings working for you guys?
Fine. Good. It's working out.
Has anyone ever used it before?
No, I haven't.
And you guys are doing okay with it?
Sure.
Okay. Because I just came from what room were you guys in? 2? I just came from room 1. They're struggling a little bit, but they're getting it. But the cool thing is after this, we're going to do, if you remember during the training, we did a gallery walk and we put down feedback. We're going to do the same thing here, but just in your Google Drawing in the comment section. So we're looking forward to it. So you guys okay?
Yeah.
So we got about 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes? Okay. I'm just going to hang out for a little bit. Listen to you guys. Or are you all just working on the drawing and just kind of really immersed in that?
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are so shy. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna go to room 2. I'm gonna go to room 1. I'll be right back.
The arrows are the They're just saying that the flame is going towards the water, or
Yeah, I have no idea. I was trying to basically show how the water, how the oxygen, how the flame is like consuming the oxygen.
Oh.
I don't know that oxygen does that though, or heat and oxygen. I don't know. I know that it when like in the car, if the heat is on really high, don't you feel like the air is kind of, it's stifling, you know? Oh no, John's here. I got to use good science terminology.
Just pretend I'm not here.
So, so I'm not sure exactly how you would show that there's a movement between the oxygen, because it doesn't disappear. It's not going anywhere because it's in a container. Man, who could have thought that candles and water could be so confusing? Perplexing. That's a better word, perplexing.
So maybe the candle is using up the oxygen that is inside the cup.
Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry.
Ah.
Love
And then
that,
once all the
Alma.
oxygen.
Yes.
So then if that happens, what do you guys think happens next if the oxygen is being used up?
It's
Yes, that's what's causing the water to move up.
Why would that cause the water to move up?
It's a pressure thing. There's nowhere for as the oxygen is disappearing, there's like a suction that's causing the water to suck up under the bottom of it because there's no oxygen. The water is preventing more oxygen from getting inside. I don't know.
I'm going to go to room 2. You guys seem to have it pretty much going on over here. I'll be back. So guys, can you just kind of share your thinking with me out loud while I'm in the room? So remember the candle went out and the water went up, correct? What do you think was going on there, guys?
So in our drawing, we put the explanation. Are you able to see our drawing at all?
No, and that's okay because, you know, unless, I don't know if you guys are able to share a screen. I don't think you probably will be able to because you're not a co-host or a host.
An administrator, yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay.
So we basically just put that, we put that the oxygen inside of the cup is being used by the flame. And since CO2 is all that's left after the fire burns to the oxygen, the carbon dioxide molecules take up less space. And the outside air pressure from the Earth's atmosphere is able to push the water into the void created by the lack of oxygen molecules.
I would say you guys have things under control. I'm going to broadcast. You guys got a minute left, and then we're going to all come back into the main room. Great job. I'm going to hang out here, though, till that minute's done.
And I think we can share the screen, no? Like if we...
Do you have a share screen button on the control bar?
Yes. Let me try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is what we have.
That is absolutely fantastic.
That's why we weren't talking.
I know. That's cool, though. You guys were talking in your brains. I love it. Okay, tell you what I'm going to do. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to close the rooms because we're kind of running out of time, and I'll see you back in the main room. Great job. So actually, you have 57 seconds.
That was awesome.
Welcome back, everyone.
John, you're on mute.
Is he talking? John.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry. So I've got 24 participants. There's some that still need to come back. Here we go. There's 29.
When that timer counts down, it'll boot them back in here anyway.
Yeah.
So they'll get their last little bit.
So I think we're all back. Oh, no, there's one more.
At 32.
I can't remember if we started with 32.
While we're waiting for everyone to come back in the chat, let us know how that experience was for you. How'd you enjoy breakout rooms?
Awesome. Thanks, Q.
Well, I prefer to work face to face, but that was okay for now.
Who was that?
Jennifer. That was Jennifer. Thank you so much.
Okay.
This is Isabel from Raleigh Elementary.
Hola.
Hi. You know, that was a really neat experience. I had never done a breakout room. I had never been a part of that, but that was really neat. And it allows for that small group instead of, you know, we have a large group here. But that was really neat. Thank you for that experience.
Cool.
I agree with you. That was, Isabel, that was a really good experience. I've never tried it before, but I'm definitely putting it on my list.
We've got some slides in the deck, and John will talk briefly about how he did that. So I see the questions like, how did you do that? So John will show you exactly where that is. And then when we're not here, it'll be in the slides for you to go back to.
Mm-hmm.
And then a quick Google search if all else fails, and someone's going to teach you how to do it.
Well, I also, Robin, are you going to say something?
Yes, I was just going to let them know that if at the very end of this, when you do your feedback form, you can put, you know, if you didn't get enough throughout what John is going to show you, then put that on your feedback form, and we can do like some little short screencastifies to kind of show you how to do this.
So yes, I know Kiana, I had them on the slide deck, but I took them off because there were some technical issues with them. They wouldn't load on my, I don't know why.
What was it?
Remember those slides I had that had an explanation?
Oh.
That for some reason those screenshots were giving me big time fits, so I kind of freaked out and I just deleted them. But I'm thinking about a small little video that I can produce that shows this really. Yeah.
Screencastify, super easy.
Yeah. Okay, with everybody back, we're kind of, so you've already, just the fact that you did it on Google Drawing, you've already posted your models in the virtual classroom, right? So really quickly, I'm gonna have to really shorten this, is we're gonna do a peer critique right now, and I'm gonna see how this works. And if you remember our peer critiques, you know, be kind, be specific, be helpful. You are trying to help the other group, not tear them down or, you know, toss them in the trash can, right? You're gonna have, and you can only, because of time constraints, you only have to do one. But what I'd like you to do is, is write down on their Google Drawing either something that you thought they really did well, or, oh no, did we think that your explanation is a good start, but did you think about this? Or the best thing about your explanation is, okay? And since you have the slide deck, you can always kind of keep these handy. But here's what I really am looking forward to. So instead of a real live gallery walk, right, we're all walking around, you have been assigned a certain room. So if you're in room 1, you're going to click on room 2's Google Drawing. And when you do, you're going to see this. You can see this is room 1. There's a comments section right here that you can add a comment to. So it's like a virtual sticky note that we used. Instead of sticky notes now, we're going to use the chat. Okay? So here are the assignments.
John, can you show that screen again?
Okay. So when you click on, for example, this is room 1. If you're in room 8, you're going to go to this one. You're going to go to room 1.
So John showed you one place to add comments, and it added a comment on the whole thing. But if you see an image or an arrow that you have a specific, you can click on that image. And then right up next to share, there's also a comments list right there.
Oh, cool.
And then hit comment, and it'll comment on that thing. It'll highlight that specific image.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's go back here. So I'm going to give everyone a minute. It doesn't, even if you don't leave a comment, that's fine. But I want you to go to the room that's assigned to you. You'll still be here in the main room. We'll still be able to see everybody. And I want you, if you can, leave a comment. Ready? I'll give you guys 3 minutes. Ready? Go.
They said, great learning process, effective way to provide feedback, easy to bounce back and forth, pretty awesome. They think students would be interested in something like this while they complete digital assignments in small groups. Some students are shy to comment live, so this is a great way for them to interact. Not just students, adults too.
Yeah.
Some say they have to get used to it, enjoyed the whole process. Great way to work on explanations in real time with a group. Great way to do a digital gallery walk. How did Kiana do a voice note?
Oh no, Kiana didn't go there.
Yeah.
Did do it.
The
Good job,
coordinators left
Kiana.
you voice notes, and if you wanted to know how we did that.
Why don't we just show them right now?
Kiana's gonna have to do a screencastify.
Yeah.
Oh, it's way easier than that. Do you want me to take the screen, John, or you?
No, go ahead. Take the screen.
Because it's already on mine.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find it.
Because you have to start with the extension store, right?
Yeah, so let me get you in here.
Sorry, the coordinators are trying to be techie with you.
We think this is really cool.
Okay, so.
Oh, I love that. Room 5. Woohoo!
All right, so there are, the one that I used.
Q, we can only see a sliver of a screen.
Yeah.
Oh, I took you off. How's that? Did it come all the way over?
Almost.
Yes. Almost.
How's that?
There we go.
Okay.
That's better.
So if you take a look up at my bar here, some of you have been with us, so bear with us if you've been to some of our other training, but those are Chrome extensions. So I have to be using Google Chrome, and there's a place called the extension store. And I can add, it's like buying or adding apps to your telephone. It's the same idea, adding to extend what the Chrome browser can do. So if I just go into the Google, if I just Google Chrome extensions or Google extensions, it's going to take me to this place called the Chrome Web Store. And I'm going to make sure that this blue one is highlighted, not themes, but extensions. And in here, you're going to put, just search talk AND, not the ampersand, but talk and comment. Right in this search box, talk and comment. It looks like this when you see it. Mine says rate it because it's already up here, but if it wasn't, it would say add to Chrome. So I've added it to Chrome, and now it lives up here. But also, you'll notice that it lives right here on the side of my screen. This little microphone with the yellow dot. So now I might just highlight that bit, or I'll highlight it in a second, but I'm just gonna click my microphone. Say, hey, John, we're having some trouble in room 1. Can you check the share settings, please? Automatically, it's gonna leave me a link. It's already copied to my thing. I don't even have to right click copy. It's already there. So I'm going to say, okay. I'm going to click the comment, paste, and add a comment. So now when John goes in, my microphone, say, hey, John, we're having some trouble in room 1. Can you check the share settings, please?
That is awesome.
And that's how that works. So if you're thinking, your brains are probably going, ah, that's awesome. As an English teacher, I thought, oh my gosh, grading papers, I can just tell them, comma. No comma here. That's not the way this works. So anyway, there's a zillion applications, both for teacher giving feedback and for English learners especially, to give you some oral practice. So we got more of those tools coming. That was just a quick one. And later on at the end, if you need to see that process again, we'll show you. Back to you, John.
Okay.
Let me stop sharing.
Not that you need to. Okay. So thank you, Q. That is awesome. So again, you can leave some comments in the chat box about how cool that is, right? So just to kind of end mine real quick, yeah, like Robin said, if you have a chance, you know, go back and look at the feedback, just like we did in the normal face-to-face. Yeah, I put here you can pass the talking stick so each member can share. Then you can add to the model based on all the feedback. You can think about after the revision is, you know, as you as a teacher can see all of them really simply, you know, what do I need to do now to get there a better explanation of the phenomena? Some kind of article, maybe another group activity, demonstration, video. And you can end it with this poster presentation like we did, where they kind of present their final rendition or the third draft thinking, whatever, of the phenomena. So, and then what Robin said, I just added this here. I had a bunch of slides that explain how to do it, but then they freaked out on me. So again, at the end, if you want us to kind of, I can real simply, Anna and I, all of us can really simply produce a short video on how to use the Zoom to record the videos. So I use Zoom to record that video at the beginning, and then how to make the breakout rooms, and then even how to add all these links to the Google drawing, okay? So with that, I'm done. I think it's like overdue for a break.
Yeah.
So what you got, Q?
I'm gonna take the screen back from you.
Cool.
All right. So we're gonna just step away from the lesson for a little bit, get ourselves up and moving. You've been sitting for a while, and we know, I know that I can get into a stagnant state if I don't get up and moving. So let me share my screen. It was gonna be a dance-a-thon, but I chose this one for John because I know his heart must be hurting. We watched the NFL draft.
Oh, no.
But I'm not sure. We shall see. So if you want to get up, do this along with us, a little exercise. If not, you can turn your screen off, take a stretch, go get some water. It's just about 3-minute video, and then we'll add 2 more minutes onto that for a quick break. So here you go, get up to stretch.
And you can call me Coach Terry. And you can call this with NFL.
You can see it?
Yeah.
Get on up and get ready to move side to side with my old buddy Ryan. Let's do this.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kerrigan. We normally move forwards and backwards, but today we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to work on lateral movements today. Lateral means side to side. Are you ready? Yeah. Great. Let's do some side lunges. Take your right foot, extend it out, give yourself a nice wide base. Bend your right knee, sit down into that hip, drive back up to the top.
Oh, I'm too old.
Sit down into that hip, drive back up to the top. 2, sit down into that hip, 3, 4, 5. Great job. Let's do the other side now. Sink into it, drive back to the top. 2, you guys feeling the burn yet? 3, almost there. Last one, best one. And 5. Now we're gonna do some side bends. Give yourself a nice wide base. Take your right hand, reach down to your shoe, and come to the top. One more. And just the opposite on the other side. We're gonna take our left hand, reach down to the shoe, really stretching out our sides. Now we're gonna do a movement called skiers because it looks like you're skiing. Start out, load up on your right leg, bound over to your left leg. Go on, you can join in now. You can start to get a little tempo with it. Keep it up. You guys like this one, don't you?
Keep it up.
Now we're gonna do a side shuffle. Bend your knees, shuffle to the right and to the left. Right, to the left. Let's see what you got, guys. Let's see those feet, quick feet now, quick feet. Now I'm gonna call out some movements for you to follow. You ready? Shuffle right 2 times. Shuffle left 2 times. Jump. Jump twice. Jump twice more. Shuffle left 2 times. Shuffle right 2 times. Skier left to right twice. Jump. Jump 2 times. Skier left to right twice. And squat.
Squat.
And squat. And stop. was a good physical and mental challenge. You all did great. Keep up the good work for at least 60 minutes a day. Maybe you can even go for a lateral walk with your friends and family.
Woo! Y'all move left and right and even out of sight. Keep it up.
Sorry, I had to go to the restroom.
Whatever you were, Anna.
I needed that. That was good.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
Good workout.
Yeah.
Anna's getting settled. I just want everybody to know, welcome back from your break. And I put the link for Go Noodle in the chat. That's where that little exercise video came from. There's tons. There's songs, there's dances, there's games. There's a family side and there's a teacher side that you do have to sign up for, but the family side you can get in with just a couple of clicks. So that's called Go Noodle. This is the math, science, health, and we have to keep up our physical health and our mental health, and that's what Go Noodle helps you do. So know that that's there for you. And there's a ton that your kids will love.
Thank you,
So-
Kiana.
The next part, we're going to do a number talk with Flipgrid. For math, I thought what better way than to do a number talk with Flipgrid. So if you can go to the next slide, John. And sorry, the reason I'm not sharing my screen and my internet's been slow all day long. There's nothing I could do about it. I already kicked my kids off their school stuff and it's still not helping me. I live in Hopeville. So what I want you to do is on our bit.ly that we shared with you earlier, there is a plus sign that shows Flipgrid, and in your Prep Your Tech worksheet that we sent you but last week, it was something about updating or adding your Flipgrid and creating an account. So if you've never used Flipgrid before, is your opportunity to participate. So we are actually going to switch over to Flipgrid instead of this screen. And I think I will share my screen there, John. But all I need you to do is go to that bit.ly and click on that plus sign that John was showing on slide 24, which will take you to a Flipgrid site. And we want you to participate in a Flipgrid. If you need help, remember the chat box and I'm here to help you out. Tell me with the space bar and just, hey, I still can't sign in, and we'll go from there. But you should be looking at this. This is what you should be looking at, and this is in Flipgrid. It says record a response, and this is where you will respond to us on a Flipgrid. So if you've never seen a Flipgrid, now's your chance. I'll give you about roughly 5 minutes to go and go do a Flipgrid.
Yes, there was a recorded Flipgrid, and we have a little community of practice actually going. So our third meetup is tomorrow, is that right?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Brandy, we can get you some information. And I bet Flipgrid 101 will come around again.
But if not, there are PDFs and videos on how to do this already linked in the slides. So for right now, all you need to do is click that plus button and go on to that other website and record a Flipgrid.
As you're coming back from break, if you don't mind showing us your face, it gives us a lot of feedback. It's hard to present to little black boxes with your names on them. So it just helps us. We can see when you're confused, if you're not following. So if you don't mind showing your face, we love it. Even just a few of you gives us good feedback.
I have a question on the Flipgrid. This is Jennifer Allen.
Hi.
You want us to go ahead and record an answer right now for there?
Yes, please. So if you want to mute your Zoom and go over there and flip, I say over there like it's so far, right? It's on the next tab over. Yes, just record a response real quick. And after you record your response, go ahead and respond to 2 other people. And we're going to interact over there now for a little bit. You might have to turn off the video here in Zoom so you can record over there. So down at the bottom, you can stop your video from Zoom, but still over there, you'll be able to listen to us, but you'll be recording a Zoom or a Flipgrid in the next tab over.
You smart people probably already knew that.
Yeah.
That's why
And we'll be back and forth, but for now, let's go to Flipgrid. Then we'll bring you guys back to Zoom in a little bit. How do you respond to someone else? click on their video and then respond by, at the bottom, there's a little, what's it called? A box, a bubble, a chat bubble, if you will. And then you click on that, you can respond back to somebody else. That might help.
All right, you're down to 1 minute.
Yes, that's Flipgrid is a video platform. So yes, the videos would have to be, they cannot respond just text, or it would be a video response for all of them, yes. All right, guys, I'm going to bring you back. It's 4:20, and I'm going to show you what I see as an educator. So I'm going to take you to my Flipgrid, which is what I created for you today. And I won't pick any video other than probably John Lazarzik, because, you know, I'm just going to pick on him. But this is what I would see. This is my prompt, a Flipgrid, what we call it a topic inside my grid. This is my grid, which would be like my class. And there is a Flipgrid 101 training that we have archived, and we do share out. I wouldn't mind sharing those slides with you. And like Robin said, we can screencast how to get started, but I do have videos and PDFs for you today. Sorry about that. My kids are cooking in the next room and they're burning my house down, but we'll be fine. Ignore that. You know, it's what happens. I have 4 kids. So I'll show you what I see.
That is so hilarious.
Sorry, it's real life. Let me see if I could text my daughter to stop burning my house down.
There you go.
So what I see, which one doesn't belong, which was my topic, and it was a number talk, and I'll talk briefly about number talks. I can see all of your responses, and I can also see when 2 people responded to a participant. So if I were to show John's response, and he sped his up.
I did? I didn't do it on purpose.
You did. And then to reply to him, I would simply click the reply button, and then I could record myself. I was showing you that feature, the pixelated feature, so that you wouldn't have to see your video, or your students wouldn't have to, if they don't want to show their faces. Some people did that Bitmoji, I'm sorry, the emoji, where you can put something over your face that you don't have to show your face when you respond. Those are some ideas if your students are a little shy. That is so funny. He made it faster. And then you can give them some comments, some feedback, and actually grade it as well. So I wanted to show the power of Flipgrid today, because I think Flipgrid is an amazing app that can help students discuss, share, do a lot of things within our context, our text. So I'm going to take you back to our presentation. But today I wanted to do a number talk. I don't think we've ever spoken of number talks in our MSH trainings. Number talks are powerful because it's a thoughtful discussion around any purposefully selected problem. And it could be anything. Which one doesn't belong? That one that I just asked you. Every one of you could have had a different response, and they were all valid responses. I saw some people saying 43 because it's a prime. I saw somebody say, I could go back as a teacher and listen to them. Some people said 9 because it was only single digit. Somebody had said 25 because it has an odd number on the ones place. A number talk lends itself to be a richful discussion about anything, and really go into the conceptual understanding of math versus all procedural. a way to question students' understanding and to see what they know. And if from just listening to your videos, I can tell who knows their prime numbers, who knows their odds, or who knows their squares. I can pose questions to seek more understanding and really help your mathematical ideas. But most importantly, that last bullet point is different strategies are key when we do number talks. We get to hear other people's thinking, respond, interact. And so I have a question for you, because we have talked about the SMPs before, the standards for math practice, but I'll stop sharing so we could do a gallery view. How many of those standards for math practice do you see, or would you see if you were the teacher assigning a number talk using a Flipgrid? When you're ready to share, you can do it in the chat box, or you could just unmute yourself and kind of share out with the group. But how many standards for math practice, and they're in the slides, would you see with something like a number talk using Flipgrid in this distance learning time? And my house has stopped burning down. Thank you. You can also put it on the chat box if you, oh, SMP3, definitely. Yes, constructing viable arguments. The students would construct their argument and then respond to somebody else's argument and kind of go back and forth. I see number 3 for sure. Any other SMPs you can identify?
Oh, yeah.
Agree with them. Yeah, they're making sense of problems as well. Number 2, looking at qualitative reasoning. 7, definitely. 8, 1, persevering. We could probably name all 8 of them if you guys haven't already caught on. That's what I would say. All 8 of them would fit in with the number talk, especially depending how you pose it. But yes, I'll go back to that presentation. But you can see all 8 of them in something like a number talk. And now that we're doing distance learning, we're thinking, well, maybe I don't have a way to do a number talk with them. But yes, using something like Flipgrid or something like Zoom in a meeting in the morning and the breakout rooms, we could have achieved the same thing that I did with Flipgrid, and just discussing, posing a question to them. And so the best thing I could show you, or the way I could show you, is for you to participate. But I also have some digital resources for you. These are places that could be used, or links of places or resources that you could use when you pose these number talks in your Zoom or in your Flipgrid. Estimation 180, visualpatterns.org, math talks, which one doesn't belong, which is the one I showed you today, a little bit of fraction talks, and would you rather. So these are all linked inside the presentation. And again, how I showed it today, it was just through a Flipgrid. You could have done a Zoom like John did this morning with breakout rooms, asking them, posing them questions from what you see from these resources. The goal is to just get students to discuss mathematically different strategies, and to notice that it's key to have different strategies and different ideas about math. And the reason I chose Flipgrid for today, I honestly think it's a student voice first app that could really expand and does all this that you see here. A lot of scientific inquiry, introductions, video diaries, podcasts. I'm a big believer in Flipgrid, so that's why I use it. But with that in mind, mine was a short one. I do have to go check on my kids at one point. I do have a PDF of cheat sheets for you that walk you through how to Flipgrid. I'll show you briefly what that is. It walks you through everything that you need for Flipgrid. How do I create an account? And it's screenshotted with arrows that show this is what you do first, this is what you do next. I included that in there for you as a resource. I also included a how-to video on Flipgrid. This guy is a tech coach up in the Contra Costa area. If you go to his website, he has videos that walk you step by step on YouTube. This is what I do first. This is what I do next. This is how I create a grid. And we thought we'd start another break before, well, I'll leave that there, with a show us your pants challenge, because of what recently happened with Good Morning America's reporter. He was on national television doing a report, and it looks like he does not have pants in his report. So you don't have to participate, But I'm going to stop sharing so we can see the gallery view. Make sure you have your gallery view. I am going to go check on my kids. But if you would like to show us your pants and just stand up, you don't have to model. You don't have to if you don't want to. We just thought it'd be funny before we start another quick little 4 or 5 minute break. And I guess I'll start. I today have leggings with my ICOE shirt. I don't know if you guys can see them.
Yeah.
They're green. So if you guys want to share your pants.
I have my stand-up desk on, so.
You have shorts.
Some Burmese.
Oh, I love it. Shorts. I see some shorts.
I got my shorts on.
All right.
I can show you my toes.
Oh, another pair of khaki shorts. I love it.
Where's I put my pants on.
Oh, with that, mine was a short session. Take another 4 minute break. I really do got to go to the next room and check it out. I'll be back.
Now's a good time to click around in some of those resources that Anna just shared. If you're not ready for a break, but you're curious in that Flipgrid or those number talks, now's a good time to take a stretch or click around. So we'll see you at 4:34. All right. Have I got the right screen showing?
You do.
All right. So welcome back. If you don't mind popping your video on for me, it gives me a little feedback, but if not, you're good. You're good. And we're just rounding the conversation out by just, again, calling attention to our English language learners, along with my health hat that I'm wearing for this group. I'm always wearing my English language learner support hat. And even in this time, this is CDE's stance on the idea of integrated ELD and designated ELD. So they must, ELs must continue to receive their designated time, as well as all of us across the day thinking about language support in the lessons that we have. And whether that's through the distance, whether that's digitally, or in the non-techie, disconnected ways that we present work to them, we need to think about our English learners and everything that we do moving forward. And that can be a challenge. It could be, it's a challenge when I have them right in front of me. And so now putting some distance in between us, best case scenario, English learners might have some technology on their side. Worst case scenario, well, worst case scenario is that some, you know, they are the unforgotten. We haven't found them yet. So they might be sort of living on in two worlds right now, maybe across the border, with family until they can come back. So there's every situation on the spectrum, and that's up and down the state. So I've in all of these different Zoom meetings that I've been in over the last 2 or 3 weeks, there are some people doing some inspirational and outstanding things, and I saw this this slide, and I thought, oh, I want everybody to see the slide always, and know that it would be sinful. It would be sinful if in this new world where we're trying to cultivate collaboration via all of these different tools, to flash forward to a new normal and not get this right. This idea of speaking for too long, right? So, or not breaking lessons into chunks, or lots and lots of words with no visuals, or restricting home language, not really leveraging and taking advantage. So these are some common ways that lessons have failed English learners in the past, and this is a new opportunity to reset for them. And I want to rework this slide so that it's in the positive. Like, what can we do for English learners? Well, we can avoid speaking too long. And Zoom in this day and age, you guys don't even have that long to be face-to-face with your students. We're in conversations with all your districts. You got limited time. If you're in secondary, you know, you're sharing your time with your other colleagues. So getting meaningful listening, speaking, reading, and writing in is a challenge for all learners, and for English language learners, doubly that. So it's good to start thinking about, now you can hear my dog. It's good to start thinking about what can be done when I do have that time with my English language learners. Like, what is the best possible use of when I do have them face-to-face? We call that synchronous time. And what is the best possible thing that I could be doing when I'm not there to guide them? And so you saw some examples today where we were practicing, but that could be an assignment pushed out, and kids can work that Flipgrid without us sitting with them, and so that would be an asynchronous activity. I could review that before class and know about their thinking on that math, that number talk, so that when they all come back on to synchronous time, when we're working together, I can address some of the misconceptions. I can make that the time that I am doing the direct instruction or eliciting language from them. So there are benefits to synchronous time depending on your goals. And then there are benefits to asynchronous time. Before all of this, and some years back, we started hearing about the flipped classroom, and that was the idea. Flipping the lecture, flipping the stuff that can be Googled, so that group work and feedback and all of that stuff that seems to slip off the plate when we're in the four walls, that we would have time for it. So just some English learner considerations moving forward. And also thinking about lesson design. So all of these things are awesome. They're all well and good. We can link things in Google Docs, and we have Google Classroom and all of these tools. But we have to be careful that it's not just stuff piled on stuff piled on stuff, and that we have a clear vision. What's the first thing we learn about lesson design? The first thing we learn is to, you know, have a learning objective and have a language objective. What is it that we want students to learn, so that we're picking the right tool for the right job? So I have some colleagues in the state. It's a group of coordinators from all these county offices. We're the Language Arts Subcommittee, ELA, ELD Subcommittee, and that group's been working on tools to help us in this new normal. And, you know, lesson planning can't go out the window. So if you want to click with me on some of these slides, I'm going to show you not only the lesson planning templates that this group has developed, but I'll also show you a tool called Padlet, because that's where these templates live. So right in the slide, I'm going to click, I think, where it says distance learning planning models. I've got a slow poke. So for a second, just about Padlet. If you've never seen Padlet, it's yet another way that students can share their responses with you. So where Flipgrid was a video response tool, Padlet can be, they can type in it. They can take pictures of themselves in it. You can put links in it. So Padlet is another way to organize ideas. You can treat it like Post-its. A lot of times in a hyperdoc, when a teacher wants responses, they will link to a Padlet, so it can be a collection of tools. So my colleagues used Padlet to give you some templates, blank templates in this first column, and then some samples as you move across the way. So this first slide deck is a little bit of the why. Why would we want these instructional tools? But then I want you to see that they made different ones because different strokes for different folks, right? Different people like to plan in different ways. Some people like a grid view, a weekly view. So there's a learning grid. Some people like a flow map, an assignment board. So these are meant to be an instructional design for the week. Some of them show what you could be done daily, and some of them show kind of a choice board for the week. So I'm gonna just click into some. For instance, this weekly view, that'll open in a new window. So they're nice because it would just be a weekly plan that could be pushed out if you're using Google Classroom, simple as that. Or if you're outside of Google Classroom, you could post this somewhere, push the link out in your Remind app or in your, what's the other one? Whatever you're using to communicate.
Dojo.
Thank you. But I like this template because it's Monday to Friday, and then in the first column, there's links to digital tools that can help you with that part of the 5E lesson plan. So that's what I didn't say. These all follow some sort of pedagogically reliable lesson design. So we've been using the 5E lesson plan in this cohort with John and with science and with math. We always have an engage. We let you explore, build your background knowledge. Then we usually explain. Either we do the explaining, or we have a video do the explaining, or we have something for you to read to explain. Then some options for elaboration and evaluation, which is self-reflection. Like, how did I do working with others? How did I do on the assignment? What might I change for next time? So all of these template examples have some instructional design inside of them. Some of you came to our HyperDocs 101 and 102 series, but this is kind of a game board template. We call them HyperDocs, not just because there's a bunch of cool links in there, but because they have some kind of instructional design building up to what you want students to do. So all you would need to do is make a copy and then rework this to make it your own. We have lots and lots of samples. We're doing another HyperDocs training tomorrow. I want to say at 1:30. If you want to know more about what HyperDocs are all about. But you could push this out. This is the week. We're meeting online. You could put the date. You can reach me, your information, your office hours. And one of the links in here might be a Padlet where they go and give you some responses to something that they read. Or you might put a number talk in here and then send them to a Padlet to give their response. So there's lots of opportunities for these lesson planners. This one's called a choice board. When thinking about your language learners, we're really trying to get them to listen, speak, read, and write. What's really challenging right now is that oral language development. So the more tools that we can find, like the talk and comment, the Flipgrid, any of these where they're having to use language, is awesome. And as you use them and get students to talk, we want to hear about it because it's a struggle all up and down the state. But this one, you can kind of just put some tasks in there and have them say, you know, I want you to complete four things or one thing from every row this week. However you want to do it, but it's just another choice, another opportunity. I'm going to come over here to Padlet for a second, just so that you can see the tool if you've never kind of played with the tool. So I think the permissions are open right now to where you can have more than 3 Padlets, but you can see in my little gallery, I've got several. I'm working on one right now. For social and emotional learning. But if I wanted to start a new one, let me see if it'll let me. Yes. So at the start, you can decide how you want that Padlet to look. My brain likes things in order. So I'm using the bookshelf so that everything down one column matches the header. But if I just did a wall, all those little squares would move around as people added things. I can stream things, grid things, so they all look a little different. So you can choose your organizational pattern right here. Maybe they're doing something in health where they're keeping track of their food and I want a timeline. And they're taking pictures of their meals, maybe, and recording their caloric intake or their health. Then this is all the naming stuff. So give it a title, a description, you might put an icon. Here's the link to the board. So just like everything else that we've been using, a link comes with it that you can share. So that's gonna be my link, Padlet@Kiana.Gibbons with this ending. I can choose the background, the color scheme, all of those common attributes that you'll wanna check out. But then once I do, I can start posting, I can share it with you, make you an editor. I can make you an editor of the whole board, or I can share the link with you so that you can be a commenter. And that's the way that your kids are gonna do it. So this little pink button down here gets you a Post-it. I can upload something, files from my desktop. I can link something from my Google Drive or a web page. So I might have them start with a link, watch this video, and then comment right on the Padlet. I can search things, so do a search straight from here. I can leave my picture with my comment, so there's a little photo booth. I don't know why I feel the need to open my mouth. That's that TikTok thing. So, and then you can write in the tool. So Padlet is another great place for students to respond. I can do it by class. I can put period 1 in the first column, period 2 in the second column, period 3 in the third column, if that's the way I wanted to do it. I can create a different one for each class period so they don't see each other's. So there's lots of possibilities with Padlet. Let's come back here. So let me stop sharing. And I'd love to either see in the chat or hit your space bar and give me a little feedback. Are you using a planning tool? Would one of these planning tools be helpful? Are you thinking about your pedagogy along the way? Is this helpful? So any kind of feedback in the chat or just out loud would be great.
This is Isabel from Brawley.
Hi, Isabel.
You know, BESD is going to be changing a little bit their distance learning format. And I think this is a great resource for our teachers. They're going to have to be submitting, you know, sending to their students a distance learning plan. And I think this can give them ideas of what a learning plan can look like. And then, of course, you know, make it original for them, make it accessible for them and their students. But I think this is a good way to get some examples. So thank you for that resource.
You're welcome. And I only went down one column. So my colleagues are adding some grade level examples for each one of those. And they're being mindful to always put a box in somewhere that's about English learners. So like, where's the integrated ELD? What's the language focus? So each one of those should have a language focus somewhere to keep English learners in mind as we plan.
A lot of good comments coming in.
And if you guys are interested, there is a Flipgrid, I'm sorry, a Padlet 101 on Friday by Priscilla, myself, and I thank you.
Oh, good. So you see some opportunities for organizing. That's great.
Well, at least Lisa's shared a resource if anybody wants to beg, borrow, steal. Thank you, Lisa.
Yes. I always copy paste the links, put them up there, and then I have 50 tabs open to go back to. All right.
This is I just wanted to share that I hadn't, thank you for addressing the English language learners. I feel like I've been thinking of just kind of giving the content, but I hadn't been focusing on our English language learners. So even though with my videos, I'm trying to use visual color coding and just visuals and explanation, I really haven't thought about it like I should. I'm glad you addressed that, so that when we do now that we're gonna start our planning, that I incorporate that a little better and that I include them. Thank you for that.
Thank you for saying so. There is so much going on. I'm bombarded with tools and resources, and there's a few of them that tend to rise to the top, like, oh, that's gonna be useful. So I'm hoping that these ones are rising to the top, that you are going and saving them to your drive, you know, so that you can follow up and find them. If you lose the link, holler at your girl and we'll get it to you, okay? So I think we're gonna start to wrap it up so that we can honor your time and have you out of here. So just know that the very last slide is a feedback form. And we do so very much look at and appreciate your feedback. It gives us some insight as to what to put on our planning calendar for distance learning. We've added new things based on what people told us last week, and it's on our calendar this week. Maybe one of my colleagues, can you put our training calendar down in the?
I put it in the chat box.
Get out of my brain.
Great minds think alike.
So, Robin or other coordinators, you have any final words for this group?
I also put in the link to the completion document, which hopefully you've seen before. That was shared with district leads, and hopefully they shared with you. But if not, the link is in the chat. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to contact me or your advisor.
And with that, we thank you for your time. We thank you for working with our little computer glitches. It's real, it's gonna happen, and we just kind of keep working through it. If you can partner with someone and have a co-pilot in this Zoom nation, it really is helpful. That's just a little presenter tip. So we'll stay on. If you have any individual questions, you know, you can unmute and just ask us. But other than that, thank you so much again, and give us some feedback in that form when you have a moment.
Thank you all so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.